Good morning. This is Father Jamie, and we're here in my kitchen and dining room of the rectory, and today we're going to make biscuits from scratch and using my air fryer. I got railroaded into making biscuits for the rummage sale team. Well, not really railroaded, I make a big deal out of it, but I'm excited to make biscuits for them, and because they're doing a wonderful job over there. And so we're gonna make biscuits for them. I'm gonna experiment a little bit because the recipe that I do and the way I've done it, I usually can get 4 biscuits. Of course, they're pretty good size. And so today I'm gonna try to cut that a little bit, and you'll see what I mean here in a little bit, and try to get 6 in there. We'll see what happens. So first we will use my wonderful little measuring cups, and these have braille on them, so I know who's who. So this is 1 cup. So I'm gonna take my flour, get 1 cup, a pretty heaping cup, is what I like to do, because I'd rather have more flour than not enough. And then 1/4 of a cup. All right, make sure that's not too overdone. Next step is I'm going to cut butter into the flour. So one of the marvelous discoveries that I made at Kroger is that they have half sticks of butter. And that's exactly what I need to make biscuits with. So unlike Paula Deen, I won't use 5 sticks of butter, but I'll use a half a stick. And I can't remember how many teaspoons that is, but it equals out to what the recipe calls for. Now I'm doing kind of a combination of recipes. I'm doing what I saw on YouTube, and then I'm also leaning on the recipe from my grandmother, Pauletta Grant. So my Mama Grant, by the time I got to where I wanted to start learning all these things, she had lost her ability to speak because of mini strokes. And so my Auntie Enith was the one that handed down the recipe to me. And so then also Father Mike Clark taught me his recipe, which the main thing that I take from Father Mike's recipe is the cutting of the butter and those things. And then the main piece that I remember from my Mama's recipe is the making a well in the flour and pouring the milk in that. So getting ahead of myself, I'll show you that here in a minute. But first we get this butter all cut up, and then I'll work that into the flour. And this is self-rising flour. I may have to do 2 batches of these, so we'll just see how this works. And the thing I love about making biscuits is it's kind of messy. You get your hands and fingers in it if you're doing it right. I will never do a canned biscuit. That's against my religion. So, no sense in that when you can do it the old-fashioned way and have fun doing it. All right, we're getting there. And the other thing you have to remember is that you can follow the steps of the recipe, but then there's also the spurt of the moment things, because your weather, your temperature, all those things will affect what happens, the temperature of your hands. So, you know, they may not turn out exactly, you know, each time. So now I'm going to use my fork and start cutting this in here. This is actually the most labor-intensive and time-consuming part, is getting the butter cut into the flour. And getting as much a consistency as possible, which it will never be perfect, and that's okay. But I have to say, the first time I made these, they turned out pretty darn good, and I was blown away at how good my very first batch turned out. I was quite proud, and those of you who watched my channel, you know how emotional I was when I took that first bite, because they smelled really good when they were in the air fryer, but I didn't have any faith in myself that they'd turn out decent at all, but they did. So I just go through here and work this a bit. And the other thing too is, as I said, the temperature, all those kind of things, humidity, it all has an effect. So sometimes, you know, I'll have things measured out pretty good, and then I pour the milk in and it turns out different, and I either have to add a little more of one thing or the other to make the consistency how I like. We're just about there. This is very much a tactile experience, so for a blind person, it's pretty cool. But it's pretty amazing to think that, you know, this recipe has been passed down in varying forms and degrees, and so many stories have been told around biscuit making and eating the biscuits and all of this. We're just about there. My mama would make biscuits every morning, and then she'd kind of snack on them all day, and she'd keep them in the oven warm because she never knew who would be over to visit, so she always wanted to have a biscuit ready for somebody. Levita, don't get any ideas. But I always have those wonderful memories of there always being biscuits in the oven at Mama's house. Okay, I'm pretty well satisfied with that. So that means I'm going to be done with this fork. Get stuff off of there. We want to use every little bit of that we can. Okay, now we get ready for the fun part. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move this to over here, so that way I don't have to travel as far. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm getting the flour around the bowl, And I'm making kind of a little well in here, and this is where I'm going to pour the milk. And that's one of the steps that I, in particular, remember that my aunt told me from Mama's recipe. So now I got that. And I rinse my hands off here. Okay. So the next order of business is the milk. And we'll use about 1 cup of milk. So I'm gonna go get the milk from the fridge. We like the cows. And since I started making biscuits, I go through a lot more milk around here. And I like to have a glass of milk at night before bedtime, so. All right. And the good thing about videoing this today is Donna will see how intentional I am with not making a mess. That ought to do it. Doesn't have to be exact. If I need more, I can always add more. Okay, so now we will take the milk from the moo cow. Pour that in here. There we go. And that means I'm now finished with that cup. So that goes in the sink. And now I will incorporate the flour and the butter into the milk. This is the messy part. So I kind of knead this and fold it, and I don't think I'm gonna have to add anything. It's doing pretty good here. It soaks that milk up really quick if things are balanced. And I am so sensitive to temperatures and touch, so I can tell if the milk is not equally distributed. I'm debating on whether I might add some more flour. If all else fails, I can make a second batch. Okay, the spirit is moving me to want to add more flour, just a hair. So we're gonna do that. So I'll rinse off there. Sometimes you have to do these things on the fly. Okay, and we don't make as big a mess here. Because it's hard for me to feel things when fingers are covered in flour and goo. So I'm going to take just a little bit here. Let's see. That ought to do it. It's not. With that, I'm going to say this is officially done. Oh yeah, that'll do it. it's turning out how I want it. And I love the smell of the flour. We're just about there. And then the interesting part will be experimenting with the size of these biscuits today. That's going to be my challenge, so hopefully we won't crash and burn. Okay, I'm just about satisfied with this. Okay, now then. So usually what I do is I put one big enough for the palm of my hand, and that's about what I got here. But I need to kind of break that up just a hair. Let's see if I'm able to do this. And I don't know if that's going to go well. Okay, there's one. There's one. I don't think we're going to get 6 out of this. Okay. There's 2. Just going to have to. Now, some people use a biscuit cutter, but I don't, because I'm into the tactile thing here. So I guess technically what I do is what they call drop biscuits. Okay, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to do, make a mess. I probably am just going to have to do the bigger ones, but that's okay. I'll do a little bit of quasi-biscuit building here. It's okay. They're going to turn out amazing. We've just got to tell ourselves that. Okay. All right. Do that. That's a little big. Put you in that corner. Put you right there. Squeeze that out there a little bit. We'll see how that works. Maybe separated here. I think I'm going to have to go with 4 at a time. This isn't going so hot, but it's try to separate these out here better. Okay, that one's just about perfect. Try to put him in the middle. So maybe we get 5 out here. We'll just have to see. But if this experiment doesn't go well, then I'll just make another batch. I don't give up too easily. Yeah, these are starting to run together just a hair. Yeah. Well, at least I tried. I'm just going to move things around. Try to get 4, as I usually do, and we'll call that it. Okay. I got enough here for probably 1 more. This could be a giant biscuit cake, is what this could look like. Okay. Just going to add to the top here. Add you there. Okay. Now then, for the other fun part. I'm going to show you all how I use my phone soak up a little bit here. I'll leave that on my phone screen. Okay, I'm going to get this set up and then I'm going to let y'all hear what I'm doing. Okay. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Alright, get that off so that way my text and stuff won't interfere. Okay, here we go. So I go to my app for my appliances. There we go, there's that app. So my best friend Anna set this up for me, so it's technically in her name on here. Close that. We've named my air fryer Miguel. He's exotic. Okay. So that is loading up. So while that's loading, I'm going to go to my Notes app. Just so I make sure that I get my temperature right. Because I have my recipes and my notes in here. Okay, let's say blah, blah, pork chops. 350 at 12 minutes. There we go. Page 1 3, adjustable. Page 2, page 3, line chief. Train sounds. Train sounds. Rain, racing. Okay, there we go. So the basket's not pushed all the way. Oh, it's angry at me. It told me my basket's not in. So we better do that. Okay, there's that. So now we go down here, start change. Preheat is on. 12 minutes. It's already set. Start cooking. Now then, have Christy McCabe, thankfully she put a piece of tape where the start is. So now I know where that is. So now that's on, and now we're going to start cooking. So we're going to pause the video for now, and we will come back when I pull them out. All right, we have biscuits round 2. We're going to see how these turn out. All right, Olivia, take a peep in there.
Mmm. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome. Really good. Perfecto.
I knew these would turn out perfect. No experimentation this time. Come out there, buddy. Look at that. One perfect biscuit.
Golden brown.
Come on. A second perfect biscuit. Third perfect biscuit. Yeah, we got a pile of biscuits here. Oh, and then this one was a little smaller, but it still turned out good. There we go. I'm going to make another round of them. Isn't it just glorious?
They look beautiful.
They do, don't they? Yeah. Hey, wait a minute, there's a basket.
Everybody's photo shoot. Kitty's picture. Yeah, look at that.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It's the bread of
They
life.
look good. Wow.
Take a biscuit.
Okay. Let's try them out, girls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
What? Donna, no butter? No cow butter? She likes
These are like,
These are really good.
like red lobster.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He does not put butter on his biscuit or jelly or anything.
No, you're desperate.
I could split one of these.
If you would
Wow.
some napkins
Sure,
back
you're
here. Okay,
welcome.
okay.
Here, let me set it down.
I'm dieting, but I shouldn't.
I know, I'm doing it.
Oh, Father,
Well,
those
you
are
all
awesome.
enjoy.
Do you need any green peppers? You need any green peppers? No. Somebody brought a whole bunch of them in this morning.
Lord have mercy.
Oh. They're good.
Well, I'm glad you all like them. It just tickled me. I got to do them. I tried to experiment to do 6 at a time and it didn't go
It
well.
didn't go well.
We always like to be the subject of experiments,
So
don't
how
we?
many you get in the air fryer at one time?
4.
4.
Oh, air fry. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I did these from scratch and we videoed me making them so y'all be able to see it.
Okay.
good.
So we know you didn't cheat.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. All right.
So, that's gonna go on